The following podcast is a production of the Podpire Network. Find and listen to our podcasts at thepodpirenetwork.com or wherever you enjoy your podcast. The Podpire Network, a family of inspired podcasts.
Hi everyone, welcome to Enabling Motion, the podcast where we bring you the inspiring technology that keeps people moving. I'm Sibel Mufti. Today I'm talking about a robotic wheelchair arm coming out of Montreal.
Hello, I'm Marc, and welcome back. Today I'll be talking about a system that can provide grasping ability to quadriplegic patients.
And I'm Owen. I'm going to be talking about the world's lightest knee brace that is also coming out of Montreal. You know, with all these companies in Montreal, maybe we should try to take a trip out there sometime.
Yo, great idea. All right, so today's ad breaks are taking us to Montreal. So first ad break today to raise our Montreal trip money. Thanks for listening to that ad break. We're raising our funds already. So coming out of a company from Montreal, as mentioned before, is Kinova Robotics. The Jaco arm is a product of high caliber engineering. It's delivering a plethora of added ability to wheelchair users. The Jaco arm's origin story is also quite compelling. So let's start there. President and co-founder Charles de Geer grew up with 3 of his uncles living with muscular dystrophy, becoming acutely aware of the struggles of such disabilities. One of his uncles, Jacques, was a wheelchair user with limited upper limb mobility. Jacques was also a talented inventor, and despite his limitations, constructed a makeshift mechanical arm to expand his daily functionality. Uncle Jacques' nickname was Jaco. Inspired by this, after graduating from engineering school, Charles began work on the Jaco arm, proudly continuing his uncle Jaco's legacy. They quickly realized that existing components wouldn't be adequate and had to build from scratch because the arm had to be light and compact enough to fit on a wheelchair without impairing balance. They've been so successful that the arm boasts one of the highest payload to weight ratios in the industry. The Kinova Jaco robotic arm is almost 3 feet long, a sleek black tube of carbon fiber with 5 joints between the wheelchair and the hand at the end. The hand is composed of 3 long digits, capable of very fine motions. The Jaco's movements are modeled after the motions of the shoulder, elbow, and wrist, resulting in over 16 distinct movements that resemble the functionality of a healthy human arm. It's capable of many daily activities that resemble the functionality of a healthy human arm. For example, eating, personal hygiene, manipulation of household objects like doors, and general leisure. Impressively, it allows people to pick keys off the ground and drink glasses of water without tipping them over. All of this is controlled through many of the standard wheelchair user interfaces, such as joysticks, head arrays, and sip and puff.
So I really just want to talk about that payload to weight ratio. Like that is like a really, really cool thing to have this arm be able to do all of these fine motor movements and also have the power to do that, but then also not being so heavy that it's unwieldy, like knocking things over when it's not meant to, or dangerous for use around.
Yeah, I thought you'd pick up on that. And yeah, it absolutely is. It's super cool. In fact, Kinova's robotic success has been so great that during the pandemic, when the world started looking to robotics for sanitation solutions, because of that impressive payload to weight ratio, the Jaco arm became a strong tool used by many companies to build their sanitization platforms.
Hey, thanks for that, Sibel.
Sure, mate.
I want to ask about how it picks up items, though. I know that I always have my fingernails pretty short, and it's hard for me to pick up small, thin items off the ground. So when it's picking up the key, is it using magnets or is it doing that mechanically?
Right. Great question. That is incredibly impressive. It actually is managing to do it mechanically. So it's got these 3 long articulated digits at the end of its hand, and they are able to do these really fine controls. And so it's actually able to pick that finger off the ground mechanically.
Fascinating. Thanks so much.
Sure thing.
Now, today I'm going to be talking about the system that seems like it is able to provide grasping ability to quadriplegic patients. Now, on enabling motion, we explore many technologies that can improve the movement of powered prosthetic devices. Generally, they're devices that move based on motion detection, such as microprocessor knees, or acquire a signal directly from the body to command a device like myoelectric hands. But today, I want to look at an option for those who have had the connection between the brain and their extremities damaged. So, the spinal cord is like an information highway between the brain and the body, and when it's damaged, it can wreak havoc. In these cases, the signals from the brain are intact, and the muscles are still able to function perfectly well, but the two systems are unable to communicate. Current solutions to reconnect them often involve surgery to move nerves or to implant electrodes into the brain to take motor signals straight from the source. But these are quite invasive and potentially really risky. So, what if there was a way to restore movement without invasive surgery, or without relying on the quality of the electrical, brain, or muscle signals through EEG and EMG? Well, one method was recently published by Nikunj Bhagat and colleagues from the Feinstein Institute for Medical Research in Manhasset, New York, where the team devised a system by which quadriplegic subjects were able to perform functional grasping based on arm motion.
Marc, super interesting, but could you clarify how a quadriplegic patient would still be moving their arm?
Yeah, absolutely. So, depending on the level of the spinal cord damage in the neck, the person can still move their arms to varying degrees. However, fine motor control of the hand is often lost. In this study, both subjects had damage between their fourth and fifth neck vertebrae, so they likely could raise their arms and bend their elbows a little bit. Now, the system by Nikunj and his team works by teaching a machine learning system to classify the arm trajectories that would be used to grasp different object types, and then, in turn, to predict grasp actions based on arm trajectories. Using wearable inertial sensors and a neuromuscular stimulation sleeve, the two participants in the proof of concept trial were both able to grasp a pen and a bottle, which represent two different types of grasping. The system predicts the task the user is attempting and then stimulates their muscles through the electrodes in the sleeve, activating them to perform the motion using their own body. Now, I think this system provides a novel and elegant, non-invasive solution to return some hand function to those struggling with paralysis, and I'm very excited to follow the team's research as it progresses. For those AI enthusiasts out there, I also recommend reading over the paper linked below so you can learn more about the types of algorithms that were tested. Now, we'll be right back after a quick break. I'm going to eat some poutine.
Welcome back. Thank you for taking the time to listen to those ads. Thanks to you, we have now been able to afford one hubcap. We've previously talked about how 3D printing is extremely beneficial to the field. And today, I'll be continuing that, talking about an orthopedic manufacturing company based in Montreal that's using 3D modeling customization software to create the world's first 3D printed knee orthotic. Their story actually begins in 2015 with a different Montreal startup called Kaboma. Now, this company set out to create a mass customization software that can take 3D scans, x-rays, DICOM images, and even patients' personal preferences, and use this information to create a custom 3D model of your brace instantly. In 2016, Kaboma found their first client, the Montreal-based company that I've been previously talking about, Oskin. Together, they boast to be the first to fabricate a fully custom 3D printed knee brace, and they call it the Evoke. Aside from being fully customizable, the Evoke is also the lightest osteoarthritis knee brace in the world, coming in at just half a pound. The brace also has removable and washable comfort aligners, allowing the user to keep the brace so fresh and so clean. The Evoke also has an extremely low profile frame at just 4 or 5 millimeters in thickness. A person can easily wear it under a pant leg, or in the case of double knee bracing, both can be worn without interference. Now, my mom actually is currently using a knee brace, and one of the things that she always talks about to me is about how she wishes that she could wear hers under her pants, but she usually has to wear it over her pant leg when she goes out. And she really, it's not something that she really thought about when she was first looking at her knee braces, but now that she has been wearing one, it's something that she kind of wished she had thought about.
Cool. Can I ask if she's using like a prefabricated or a custom made one?
It is a prefab with custom modifications.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I also really think I want to go back to like the weight of this knee brace for a hot second. So the next closest knee brace that I could find was the DonJoy OA Nano that came in at about 0.89 pounds, which would make the Evoke 40% lighter than that. Though the total difference is only about a third of a pound, so you can kind of be the judge on like how much of a difference that would make, but it's still unquestionably a very impressive feat to have a full knee brace come in at around half a pound.
Thanks for that, Owen. I mean, that's insane. The fact, so it's like 4 to 5 millimeters in thickness?
Yeah, that is in thickness. It's
less than
4 or
half a
5.
centimeter.
It depends on the
crazy.
customization options, I believe.
Wow. Okay, that's really impressive, especially that I can provide that much support to the body is really crazy. And for context, a knee brace goes all the way up to halfway up the thigh to halfway down your calf.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow. All right, boys. Let's start off with what our favorites are, other than yours, Marc. Other than your own. Remember this.
It's a witch hunt.
We cannot pick our own.
Well, you know what? I'll start off by saying that I think I'm going to hand this one to Marc. I think the fact that this is not invasive, the fact that there's already been like basically 2 successes with it, it's really interesting to see what more could come from this technology.
Gotcha. So Owen goes first, not staying as the kingmaker for the end. Very interesting.
No, not
very
this
interesting. Very interesting. Marc, buddy.
All right.
Other than your own,
other than my own, even though it's brilliant, it's fine. I'm going to say that Sibel, the Jaco arm, in my opinion, is an extremely useful device. The amount of times that things fall on the ground and wheelchair users have to ask for help or aren't able to pick it back up is a challenge that happens so consistently, and it doesn't have the best solutions all the time. So something like this really takes away that issue, improving the quality of life significantly. So that for me is my favorite.
Yeah, thanks. And, that brings up a really important point that again, as nerds in the field, we'll often end up talking about sort of the biology of things, but the 2 things that are really, really going to determine someone's quality of life are pain and dignity, right? So the ability to be able to take care of things yourself and have that independence, giving that dignity back, just makes such a big difference. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree with you.
And personally, I think I'm going to have to go with yours, Marc. Although the 3D printing just speaks to me so much. I love that it's like only half a centimeter. It's so cool. But the fact that it's like taking a signal from the person's body and then stimulating their own muscles to move, you're getting to a point in human history where you're saying that, hey, maybe spinal injuries might not be a permanent life condition anymore. That is a complete change in the way humans have functioned. That's insane. So
it's huge. And the algorithms that they're using and in this field as these machine learning algorithms improve in their sophistication, this kind of stuff is going to keep happening. And I'm so excited about it.
You're gonna end up going down the software pathway someday soon, man. I'm seeing it happen. you're so obsessed with like machine learning and everything.
You might be right.
I see it happening.
Yeah.
We got to start teaching you some coding for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and has your mom asked you to start fabricating something yet?
Oh, yes. Yes. Every project I bring home, she's like, "Oh, could I wear that?" And I'm like, "No, please."
Got it. All right, guys. Amazing job today. Thank you for your topics. And thank you to the listeners. We're so glad that you were here. Message us on Instagram at Enabling Motion Pod. Tell us what your favorite topic was. Listen to us anywhere that podcasts are found. And thank you to the Podpire Network for hosting us. We'll be back in 2 weeks, every other Tuesday. And we look forward to talking to you again. Take care, everyone.